This is TWiT.
Ken, FFmpeg got a sort of a shot in the arm recently from an interesting and an unexpected place.
Or not so unexpected if you've been following the news. But this week, Saurav Rudra wrote about my favorite open source multimedia framework, which received a significant grant from an Indian initiative focused on supporting open source software globally. As Jonathan said, FFmpeg, which handles video and audio processing at a scale most users never really imagine, powers everything from streaming platforms like YouTube and Netflix to video editing software such as Blender, Kdenlive, and other applications to include the Restream that we use. Now, despite this critical role, the project has long struggled with sustainable funding. Well, good news for FFmpeg. The project is set to receive $100,000 from Floss/Fund. What is Floss/Fund? It is a program launched by Indian stockbroking firm, I'm going to try to say this, Zerodha, to give back to the ecosystem that made its success possible. According to Saurav, the FFmpeg team acknowledged the donation on X, directly thanking Nithin Kamath, the CEO of Zerodha, and the person behind Floss/Fund. According to announcing this move on Floss/Fund's one-year anniversary, Nithin stated that, and here I'm quoting, "I would like to think that congratulating the recipients here is inappropriate, as for them, this is neither a victory nor an achievement. FOSS projects that the world depends on ought to receive financial backing as the norm. At the very least, a significant amount of collective societal gratitude and recognition is owed to FOSS maintainers and communities. For-profit orgs that benefit from FOSS, though, give more money than gratitude, will you?" This marks one of the larger individual grants in Floss/Fund's current funding round. FFmpeg joins 29 other open source projects receiving support in this, what they call a tranche. I'm going to recommend that you look at Saurav's article, since he also lists them in his article, along with a link to Floss/Fund's announcement blog. And Saurav and I both think it is a must-read, if only to find out about MAS.
Yeah, FFmpeg is interesting because basically any time that you see video on your computer or your phone or just about anywhere in the world, actually, it has been touched by FFmpeg at least once. Like, this software is everywhere, and it is absolutely the backbone of what we do as a world with video. It's just everywhere.
Yeah, as critical as that piece of software is, when Ken said how much they were getting, it just reminded me of Austin Powers. I thought he missed an opportunity to be like, $100,000, and that's when everybody laughs. It's like, okay, that's not very much anymore. They kind of deserve more than that.
Yeah.
They need more than that.
They need.
$100,000 does not go very far for a business, and there are multiple developers' salaries that need to get paid there. Yeah, it's not as much money as it sounds like. Can confirm.
And on top of that, it's not that easy for converting that into funds that they can actually use because of all the hassles that you have with transferring funds internationally and converting it from one.
I will say that's not actually very difficult. It is really easy these days to do an international wire. Where they might run into problems, though, is essentially doing their taxes. Right, because I don't know if FFmpeg is set up as a nonprofit, but then you have questions like, is writing code a nonprofit applicable activity? And I've talked to some people, some projects that have run into that as a problem, that it is not a valid charitable activity to write computer code in some countries. And so they can't set up a nonprofit because of that. So like that's really where you run into the sticking point.
Maybe if you're writing it, if you're paying somebody and they're writing it just for you, I can maybe see the argument of not being a charitable thing. Maybe. I'm not saying I agree with it. I could see it. But if it's open source, you're writing it for everybody and someone else is donating to you, I don't see any
And
reason.
you're not getting any money for yourself, but yet you've got these corporate entities that are making a profit off of it. That kind of blurs the line too.
Yeah, well, you just got to remember that in almost every country, these laws that regulate business, they are not modern. They were not written for open source. They were not written for computers at all in most cases. And so there are some very weird things on the books.
Which makes me wonder how did they get translated that way to not include code if that wasn't even a thing that was thought of.
So in the United States, at least, the way that works is a judge will rule on it. And if a judge has not yet ruled on it, then it's just a big question mark.
Yeah, precedence. But
well, that's essentially what common law is. Common law is the group of rulings that judges have made. And if you don't have a ruling on it, then a conservative lawyer will tell you, oh, you can't do that because it's not black letter law, and we don't have a ruling on it to say it's safe. So I'm not gonna.
Okay, maybe my question
sign
is,
off and say,
how could any judge set that precedence? What kind of thinking is there?
Well, I can tell you, I deal internationally quite a bit, and laws vary tremendously from country to country. So I mean because there's so many different roots of where it came from, because there's so many different styles of government. How is the government pretty controlling or more open? Is it, so yeah, I can check your local jurisdiction to find out what
if you have $100,000 donation that you need to make legal, you need a lawyer that specializes in this sort of thing.
And possibly an international
and then you'll have 10,000 you can donate.
That is sort of the follow-up. Expect to spend at least 10% of that on your lawyer fees. If you enjoyed this clip, be sure to check out the Untitled Linux Show. You can find us in your favorite podcasting app or subscribe to our YouTube channel down in the links below. See you there.